Call the meeting to order. Municipal Airport Authority, Tuesday, October 9th, 2018. Item 1, approve the minutes of the regular meeting on September 25th. Are there any corrections to the minutes as you received on email? Okay, they'll be approved then as printed. Item 2, airport vouchers totaling $40,837.17.
Madam Chairperson, I move approval.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Lynn?
Aye.
Blazik? Aye. Lind?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
We got them right.
Got them right today.
Can I ask you a question, though? I know we approved it, but there was one expense, Dakota Fence Company, repair gate operator, North GANE, what?
North General Aviation Gate, Northeast 7. So something, Darren, do you happen to know what that is, by the way? The gate operator failed up at the North T-Hangar Gate?
Yeah, ongoing issue. I think that gate is pretty old. And
Okay.
how much was it?
16.
16.
58.
Yeah, I think a lot of the components were,
Okay.
couldn't get replacement components. So we had
Because the
to-
first thing I think of after looking at a lot of the proposals for the parking lot, I wanted to make sure it wasn't any gate at the parking lot.
Yep.
Okay.
Security gate.
Yep.
Okay, item 3, individual vouchers as listed in your agenda, items A through F. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any questions or discussion? Roll call vote.
Lynn?
Aye.
Blazik?
Aye.
Lind?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye. Item 4, receive proposals for airport parking.
Okay, the proposals were due October 1st at 2 o'clock, and we received 3. SP Plus, Republic, and then the other one was Interflight, part of interstate parking. I provided some background information to you. 3 of the board members have their packets on these. Eric and Virginia are seeing them probably for the first time today. There's a scoring sheet that's there. I did do the scoring for the 35 points based on revenue. So Republic would get the highest total there, 35, and the other 2 would get 34. That's the, I guess, rationale for how the point system works there. The rest of it, I guess, is your subjective review of the information. I've been through each of them 3 times. I think you'll find that one really comes to the top very quickly. That provides, at no cost to us, shuttle service starting probably in December, or for sure January 1st through March 31st. They'll provide shuttle service for the first 2 years. They also propose, in the SP Plus proposal, to spend up to $100,000 in putting in a corporate parking program, basically going out to the businesses, selling them on a corporate parking program, issuing and then installing the equipment on all of the entry and exit readers, where they can simply just scan a card to get in, scan a card to get out, and it charges a credit card to the business for the parking. You can see that they put together the brochures that we had requested. They'll be doing a lot of marketing to try and capture back some of those that aren't. Republic put together, I believe, a good proposal, and then you look at Interflight and you can kind of see how they sort themselves out from there. So we'd like to make a decision at our next meeting, October 24th, I believe is the date. It's a Wednesday, if at all possible. But if you got any questions as you go through it, email me or let me know. And I don't know, Tammy and Steve, if you've had a chance to go through them, and if you have any thoughts.
The one thing that, and I had to go back several times in the RFP, was even though Republic had the highest amount, it was not confirmed. It was not guaranteed.
That's correct.
And for some reason, I thought it was supposed to be guaranteed.
The 2.4 million is guaranteed.
Is guaranteed.
Yes, yeah. We asked for a minimum annual guarantee of 2.4 million.
Okay.
All of them exceeded that, but only one, SP Plus, guaranteed 2.7 million. They
Okay.
guarantee it regardless of what happens. The others, as you go through the percentages based on the first 500,000 of income, the next 750,000 in income, they get to $2,777,500, but it's not guaranteed.
Right.
And the difference between the highest and the lowest is $82,500. So from Interflight, Interstate, $2,695,000 as you go through their things. Some do guarantee a higher percentage as you get over certain dollar thresholds, but like you say, it's not guaranteed. So that
I think
was
the other thing that it was, we were just kind of talking about this, looking at the audits. One company did not provide an audit, which it said it opened it up to, because they had been purchased, they had been bought out, that's Interflight. So I know they said they're working on the audit, but would it be prudent to ask for a copy of their whole company audit? I mean, I don't know.
Well, Interflight was two companies merged together.
Merged together,
Yeah.
right.
So they started in 2017,
Right.
and it was a partial year. So,
And that's why I guess I'm trying to look at being fair, comparing the ones who provided the 200-page audit to one that we have no financial information,
and-
unaudited.
And that's one of the risks that we have to weigh.
Okay.
is the financial stability of this company, because
Okay.
they are new.
Yep. It did say, though, we could ask for the other company's audit. It said that I think it was upon request, we could ask for the company that they merged with, their audit, because that was available. So my question is, do we think that is necessary? Or is it, scoring wise, is it just a kind of a futile effort to try to look at that when we're not going to find out any financial information about the current company anyway?
It's really hard to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm okay with just reading the two audits.
Any other questions or comments?
One more question. I noticed in the RFP and in all the responses that it did not include anything about the employee parking lot.
Right.
Is that,
We manage that ourselves.
we manage that ourselves?
Correct.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, so we'll all review. We're not going to be here. We'll get information back to Sean
Mhm.
and make a decision the next meeting.
Correct.
Okay. All right, item 5, receive responses to engineering service request.
So these responses were due on, I believe it was October 4th, and there was only one responder, which was Mead and Hunt. I guess I did have a call from another large engineering firm prior to the deadline, and they declined to provide a response, one, because of the cost, two, I think they're aware that we're pretty satisfied with our current engineering services firm. So you can take a look at this information here. You can make a decision today or wait until the 24th, whatever your preference is, but I think it's pretty obvious that they've done a great job for us, and I think awarding them the next 5-year maximum ability to provide our on-call engineering services would be in order.
Before I make a motion, just to clarify, we've had this discussion before, Sean, but maybe for the record and new people, even though we only received one, we do not have to receive at least two to award this, correct?
No,
It's not
I
a
mean, we can't force
competitive issue.
firms.
We
Right, it was publicly advertised, acknowledged by another firm in town that they saw it. I didn't hear from any other firms, so yeah, we've met the criteria.
Knowing that, I'll move to approve the extension of the contract with Mead and Hunt.
Second. And as a note, I thought the proposal was very well put together, really professional, just really over the top. So,
And just well, if you get a second for that, there's just a clarification to your motion, but we do it on a contract-by-contract basis or a project-by-project basis. So we can award them contracts on federally assisted projects for a maximum of 5 years, starting January 1st of 2019. So we don't have an overall contract with them. It's each project has its own separate contract. Does that make sense? Okay.
I have a second.
I get a second.
Okay. Any discussion, comments? All in favor? Why don't we do a roll call vote on this?
Okay. Lynn?
Aye.
Lazy?
Aye.
Lynn?
Aye.
Oh, Clark.
Aye.
Oh, he's not here. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. All right, item 6, capital improvement plan.
So Mead and Hunt did update our CIP. There's still maybe a chance to tweak it. When do we have to turn it into the FA, Jeff? Is it next month or sooner?
It's actually due in to the FAA, I believe it's the 1st of December.
Okay, so we've got some time.
Turn it into aeronautics and then early.
So we've elevated for 2019 the possibility of the elevated walkway and the cargo apron expansion, which would be phase 4. And then you can see going down from there. As long as they're on the list, we have the ability to change those as we see fit if something comes up. You know, the cargo apron, when we put it together last year, it was like, well, that's probably going to be 10 years down the road. Well, then all of a sudden somebody shows up and it's like we have to hurry up and get it done. So we are working with them. I do have some building layouts for UPS. They're working on what I would call a site plan right now for us so that we can make an informed decision on how to send the engineering firm forward on the extension length of the access road, the utilities, locations of different things. So they're trying to figure out the optimum size of the apron for their operation, both for the mainline jets and then the feeders going forward, all with the goal of being occupied by 2020. So that's kind of where we're at with that.
Sean, I thought the SRU building we were planning next year, expanding that, or is it just a funding availability, pushing it back a year?
It's it's priorities. The cargo apron will take a higher priority, so it just keeps getting pushed back. Can't really do both. Just our entitlements will be about $3 million. Once we get moving forward here, we have a pre-application in for the cargo apron, hoping to get part of the $1 billion that's out there, the additional money for airports. Bismarck was awarded in the first round, I think it was $9.7 million for their runway project out of that $1 billion. So Cedar Rapids was able to get some of the money for their cargo apron expansion. So I'm guessing that with the help of the delegation, the state, and others, that we might position ourselves to get some of that money for the cargo apron. We'll see. And of course, the legislature is proposing, or at least 2 members of the legislature are proposing $50 million in the next biennium, of which we can apply for some of those funds as well. The cargo apron would be well served because they serve the entire state of North Dakota from Fargo once they arrive here, as FedEx does right now today. So I think it's a good statewide justification. So if you have any questions on that, this would be the plan going forward to the FAA. If we need to tweak it or anything, we'll bring it back to before December, but it's due there.
Any questions or comments? Okay, airport construction and security. Anybody?
Do we have anything? There's a little bit out on the airfield that Northern is doing in between rainstorms, but they're repairing the radius. I'll just show you on the map here. They're repairing the radius up here that buckled, basically removing the concrete and spread the dirt to seed it. I don't know if they're finished that yet or not.
They haven't. I reached out to Northern again yesterday because they wanted to do it on a rainy day, so this week would be perfect.
And it's nothing critical impacting operations or anything, only when they're working, but it's not going to impact anything. Outside of that, I had a conversation with Andy Scatwold yesterday. Andy is the one that is building the hangar up here in the North EPA. He still has some more concrete work to do, but his company that's doing the construction kind of abandoned him right now because of a higher priority, bigger project we're trying to get done. But he's got the foundation in and so forth. It's just a matter of putting up the structural steel and finishing it. So his goal is to have that done within the next 30 days. We'll see. There may be some groundwork and some fencing work that will be done next year, but it's done. So that's where siding project is all completed. You probably noticed the painting of all the pillars out in front. I don't know if they're done yet or not. I don't think so. Pretty close, I think, if not. But
I didn't see the artwork up yet.
Yes, the artwork is up on the far west end up above the baggage claim.
Okay.
And it's worked out really well
Good.
with the Arts Partnership. Outside of that, I guess that's all that we have for security. There's nothing, no changes there.
I mean, you know, we ordered additional seating, remember, a few months ago. It's coming today, I think. So it'll be, I forget how many total, we're at 50 or something like that. So we'll be putting them in. The areas were kind of tight right now.
So a week ago today, Mark Sixel, our air service consultant, and I met with Delta Network Planning, so Steve Fadine and Murphy Grisham. Really nothing exciting to report with Delta other than they're very satisfied with the market. They're working on the summer schedule right now to take us April through the end of July. It doesn't appear that there's going to be any significant changes in the market, maybe some larger aircraft. Really don't see any banks adjusting in Minneapolis, St. Paul from what they have right now. We've looked at Atlanta going daily. They're going to monitor that again this year to see if they can start it earlier than their mid-December time frame, and then we'll go to Saturday only through March. It doesn't appear that Salt Lake City's in the cards anytime soon. And then as far as Seattle, not interested in that service. But they're real satisfied with the market. They're going to start to do marketing more on their social media websites to try and increase awareness of some of the things that they have. I think the biggest news for a local company is that they will start nonstop from Minneapolis to Seoul, Korea in early 2019, which will be beneficial for Bobcat. They're really excited about that. They get one-stop service over to, is it called Icheon? Is that how you pronounce the airport over there? But that was one example of something that will help a local business here. So they are very active in the community, engaging in corporate contracts and tweaking corporate contracts that are here. If it's Microsoft, John Deere, Blue Cross, whoever it may be, they're pretty aggressive in the market, as is United, in meeting with local businesses on their corporate contracts and so forth. But outside of that, it's pretty much status quo with them. I think eventually it might be hopefully within the year, we'll see the new 220 aircraft here. It's a new aircraft. They just launched it a couple days ago. Have you seen the new 220 aircraft? It's pretty neat. Hopefully we'll see that on some of our routes here, replacing some of the older CRJ-200s or whatever that are currently being operated by SkyWest. So that's all I've got for here. I know Mega's here from the tower. Were there any issues with the little experiment the state did with the NDSU football game and so forth?
With the drone? No,
Yeah.
I can do it all.
Do you expect that we'll see more of that, more of those requests?
Yeah, because North Dakota was selected for the UAS NPD program, so yes, there will be more. Maybe not specifically in Oregon, maybe in Bismarck and Grand Forks, but yes, there will be.
Okay. So it worked out well, so that's good.
So what was the purpose of it exactly?
They basically want to show joint use of airspace between media, law enforcement, and a controlled environment over people.
Other than that, I leave for the Allegiant Conference today down in Savannah, so we'll see how we're doing with the Allegiant system. We're asking for more service from them. Mark will be out there with us and a number of other consultants. Punta Gorda is one that I believe we will see in the not too distant future. Allegiant is building a whole new family resort around the Fort Myers, Punta Gorda area. It's a $200-some million investment. So as they get more aircraft and so forth, I would expect that on a seasonal basis we would see Punta Gorda in our future. We worked on a proposal with them, Sioux Falls and us, Minnesota Twins getting down for spring training baseball and things like that. So I think we'll see a lot of interest in that coming up, but exactly when we'll see. Going to try and get Tampa Clearwater service back. Right now they're not able to provide that due to lack of aircraft, but we'll see. We'll keep going. San Diego is a big destination for us. We have close to 18 people per day that go from Fargo to San Diego, so that's another focus city that they have. We'll be asking for San Diego service, and we'll see where it goes from there. So,
Anybody, anything?
I would like to recommend, and I see Mr. Pepcorn's not here, make sure that he gets a copy of all the proposals.
I've got a stack there for him,
Okay.
so we'll...
I just want to make sure we keep him and reach out to him to make sure he's involved.
As well as the planning document that was
Yes.
submitted.
Yes.
For long range plan.
Yep.
Don't do it long range
That
plan.
went out with the agenda, right? Yep, so he did
Good.
get that. The engineering RFQ, so
Good.
Either we'll deliver it to City Hall or call him and have him come out and pick it up.
Okay.
So that's all I've got.
Anything else? All right, meeting adjourned.